الله 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 نور السماوات والأرض. Lantern of light evolving together.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We begin in the name of Allah, the most merciful and specially merciful. Assalamu alaikum, my dear viewers, and Milad Mubarak to you all on the Wilada of Sayyidah Zainab alayha salam. Thank you for joining us this evening on our episode of the Journey of Tawakkul. These series are brought to you with the support of the charity Lantern of Light. Lantern of Light is a charity that is passionate about bringing global love, peace, unity, and social justice. We want to walk in the source of light of pious women like Sayyidah Zainab alayha salam. The charity has several inspiring blogs and videos you can access on the YouTube channel and the website www.lanternoflight.co.uk. And today, we want to reflect on a topic that is little spoken about. You see, our world was perfectly designed by an ultimate creator and designer, of course. And Surah Ar-Rahman, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, He's the most compassionate. He taught us the Quran. He created man. He taught him eloquence. And then He moves the sun and the moon by precise calculation, and the stars and the trees prostrate, and the heaven He raised and imposed the balance. Then do not transgress within the balance. That you do not transgress, He says, do not transgress in the balance. And that's in Surah Ar-Rahman. So although the environment is a blessing for us, this is not a one-way relationship, I should say, where we can take from the world without giving anything back. We have been given a title of Khalifa, and that comes with responsibility. And the environment around us also has rights. We are not masters of this world. We're actually in service to it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran says beautifully, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Kulu washrabu min rizqillahi wa la ta'thaw fil ardi mufsidin. He says, do not commit abuse on the earth. You can drink and eat as much as you like, but do not spread corruption in the earth. And Islamic environmentalism is a duty upon all of us. So today, our guest is the beautiful, inspiring Zahra, who is, at the moment, she's at the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And you know, Zahra has started the movement called the Green Pilgrim. And Zahra Ali is based in Karachi. She's a sustainability educator. She's a writer. She's an environmentalist. She's a co-founder of Crops in Pots, Learning Garden, you know, and the former co-founder of Organic City as well. I think I could go on and on. She was educated, you know, in Karachi, but she actually educates 10,000 youth on environmental sustainability throughout her Learning Garden program. And she has also designed this beautiful thing called horticulture therapy courses for mental rehabilitation. And the recovery house, and designed a nature therapy for autism, you know, people on the autism spectrum. And Zahra has over kind of like 12 years of experience as an environmentalist. Can't even say that. And you have been teaching in universities and schools for a decade, right? And you are also a columnist and who writes in newspapers and magazines. So, Assalamu alaikum, Sister Zahra, and thank you so much for joining us today, all the way from Iraq.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much, Sister. Salam.
So tell us, where are you at the moment?
Shrine. I'm at the holy shrine of Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam.
MashaAllah. That's wonderful.
So today
If
we
you
are
could just show us around a little
celebrating.
bit.
Yeah, I'll have to turn around my camera for this, but
Wonderful. Oh, that's
it's
amazing.
all
Thank you so
decorated because of the birth anniversary of Sayyidah.
Yes, the Wiladat, right. Wonderful. That's so
Beautiful.
amazing. Thank
They're
you.
also preparing for the Ayam Fatmiya.
Okay, wonderful. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
it's always
Please give our salams to the Imam and to Hazrat Abbas on our
definitely.
from all our viewers of Lantern of Light, inshallah. And we
Definitely,
pray that
definitely.
you have a successful and a spiritual ziyarat.
Me.
So, Zahra, if you're ready to discuss with us this environmentalism, which is not much talked about, right? But you have a passion for creating a sustainable urbane. So, tell us a little bit about yourself and where is your passion for environment coming from?
So I think you already gave my introduction, which was unexpected for me. I thought we'd only talk about Karbala, but yeah, it will give viewers an overview of what I do. So yes, I am a sustainability consultant. I've been working as a sustainability expert within Pakistan, in other parts of the region in South Asia. I've been writing, doing a lot of research, and presenting my papers in Iran and Iraq, and also in Sri Lanka occasionally. So yes, my work is all focused on environment, making cities more sustainable, writing about it, documenting advocacy. So if you focus on Green Pilgrim today, because that's what we are here to talk about. So I'll tell you a bit about that. So it all started in 2018 when I was visiting Iraq. I come here quite often, sometimes twice or thrice in a year. It was
MashaAllah.
purely because of the ziyarat. Uh, but I've been coming here since 2014. But in 2018, the things got a little better, and we were finally going outside our safe zones. We were going outside the parameters of the Holy Shrine, interacting with communities, looking at environmental issues. And that is the moment when I started noticing that because now pilgrims are coming in big numbers,
Yeah.
we're consuming lots of single-use plastic cups. We're leaving it behind, and I could
Yes.
see that the holy site of Wadi Salam was just getting buried under plastic waste. There were some
Yeah.
old graves that were being destroyed, and there was lots of plastic waste that was just entering those graves, and it just didn't feel right that if you truly believe that Imam Zamana Jalla Ta'ala Farajahu comes here and then he
Yeah.
visits his grandfather, then we should be growing flowers here. We should not be leaving so much trash. Then I started talking to the management of the holy shrines and just to get an idea of what kind of plastic consumption is there, how much plastic cups do they use, and what do they do with that. Later on, I learned that daily they're using thousands and thousands of cups in just from just one shrine. And then there
Wow.
are so many other historic sites and shrines all across Iraq. And during a time of Arbain and any other Maksusi, this multiplies.
Hmm.
Um, then I started tracing the waste. Where does it go? And it ends up at landfill. It was all burnt at that time. I also like talking to some journalists, some researchers, trying to
Yeah.
get my facts right. And all of these numbers were just very, very alarming for me. As an environmentalist, I just felt I had to do something about it. I can't just look at it. So I made a little video. I was very shy at making videos, but I made a video, 3 minutes video, while sitting at Banul Haruman that year. It was December, I remember. It was my last day here. So I made this little video for my own private group. My friends and family, we visit Iraq in a group. So I just shared it there. It was a private group. It was not supposed to be a public video. But somebody downloaded that and made it viral. It went viral in just a couple of hours. And
Subhanallah. It's
everybody
Allah's plan.
here, yeah. So I had no intention. I was very uncomfortable with it initially.
Yeah.
That I don't make videos, I don't take my photos, and it just went viral everywhere. And then everybody who was walking around was looking at me strangely, and then he would come to me and say, "We have received your video from 8 WhatsApp groups. We have received your video 12 groups." And within few hours, the Holy Shrines got in touch with me through some other people. I had no connections at that time, absolutely
On
no
that same,
connections with Holy
sorry,
Shrines.
Zahra, on the same day,
Within few hours. So I
within
made
few
this
hours.
video at 3 a.m. at Anul Haraman, and then I went for Fajr. I slept. In the morning, I was in Najaf around 11, and by that time, it was viral everywhere.
Wow.
So everyone was contacting me. But when the Holy Shrines reached out to me and they asked me specifically for a proposal, that was the moment when I thought, something good has happened. And I recalled that I saw a dream that night, and I saw that. I won't share details, but I just saw that Mullah Abbas alayhi salam was happy with what I did. I
Oh,
had no
wow.
idea what it meant at that time,
Oh my God, I'm feeling
but
my hair raising, Zahra.
I just saw that he was smiling. He was smiling at me when I was making that video. I didn't know what it meant, but when the Holy Shrines started getting in touch with me, I thought maybe this is what it meant. Um, so I started talking to them. They asked me to meet in Najaf first. So I met them in Najaf. They asked me to write a proposal for them, suggest some practical solutions. How can they change their practices? So I was going back in 2 days. I said, I'm going to send you a detailed proposal in 1 week. We translated the proposal in Arabic because then there was this communication gap. And by
Yes.
this time, the video was being shared so many times that there were thousands of people reaching out from different accounts because we didn't had any name or brand. We had no intention of doing this. Even my
Mm.
profile was private, so I didn't know what how to interact with them. So we quickly created a group called Green Pilgrim, so that people had questions. What can we do? How can we contribute? Give us solutions. We never thought about it. So we started
Mm.
gathering them on a private group on Green Pilgrim. We called it Green Pilgrim. We had no logo,
So you,
nothing. It was just a group. Yeah.
so
I'm sorry, sister, but I can't hear you.
yeah, sorry, Zahra. So it was the start of the start of the Green
That was the start of the Green
Pilgrim
Pilgrim. That
project. Is
that
that right?
video, yes, yes, that
Yeah.
video became the start of all of this. And I'm just trying to
Okay.
tell you in
Wonderful.
our story, there are many points in which we thought, okay,
Yes.
this is it, this is what we were supposed to do, but then something else came up, and we continued to move further. Uh, so by the time
But obviously,
I came back,
mm,
yeah.
yeah. So obviously, the journey mustn't be easy. So that's why, when we were talking earlier, you said actually you did have to have trust in Allah that this is going to work, because after all this video going viral and people coming to think, now what do you do next, right? So what kind of decisions you had to take, and what was your next steps, so to say?
So for a very long time, I've been doubtful. I had a lot of self doubt that I'm not ready for this. There's such a big challenge.
Yes.
Plastic challenge is real, and
Oh,
it's very huge. Even developed countries have not been able to resolve that. And then we
of
are talking
course,
about
yes.
so many countries coming here, participating in this
Mm.
event. How do we connect with them? How do we talk to them? So it was just one step at a time. I did not know. I actually, it's still, I don't have a very clear goal what I'm going to do, but we are so used to this now that we take one step and then we wait and see what happens next. And
And then
usually
and
just
then God,
yeah,
yeah, God, Allah
yeah,
says that you take one step and He'll take the next 10 steps, right?
absolutely. This is how it has
Yeah,
been happening with us.
yeah.
So first I saw that video went viral. Okay, the Holy Shrine got in touch. Okay, I sent them a proposal. That was it. But then that was not it. I had to, then there were other shrines who were getting in touch. There were other volunteers who came to my house even asking me, give us a task. Let's design a pamphlet. Let's go and talk to all the group leaders. I thought, yes, this is a good idea. We can do that. So we started writing and developing
Yeah.
these 9-point agendas for the tour groups to focus on, and if they want to reduce the plastic waste. And we used to go to all of these tour operators, their offices. We used to visit their offices, get them signed, tell them about it, show up in their orientation meetings, talk
Yeah,
to
yeah.
pilgrims about it. But then I thought it's important that we launch some sort of a program in which we incorporate the idea of ambassadors. And this idea came
Yeah.
from my previous work experience with Jamie Oliver. We used to have these group ambassadors, country ambassadors, and they used to work with, and that really worked. So we started doing an ambassadors program, and it was amazing because there were already some people doing related work elsewhere, and all of
So,
us were going through similar situations in
mm,
which we were disappointed at times and we did not know what to do next. But then
yeah,
it was, at one point I was very disappointed 3 years back, and I thought I've talked to everybody. I've reached out to management, I've talked to them face to face, I've talked to the governor of Karbala, I've talked to journalists, we have made these videos, we have done everything. We have a group of translators. We have now participation from 40 or over 40 countries. There's so many people involved in this, but the things are not changing on ground. What am I
Mm,
supposed to do now? I was talking to one of my teammates, and this is Ishan Bhai, he's based in Houston, and he told me, I was seeking advice that, maybe we should just close this now.
yeah.
So he said that you don't have to worry about the results. You are
Yes,
responsible for taking action today,
absolutely.
and that is
Absolutely.
what you're answerable for. Don't worry
Subhanallah.
about the results. You may succeed, you may not succeed, but at the end of the day, when you're asked what did you do when you saw this
Mm,
problem, you should be able to say that you did everything you could. And he
absolutely.
gave me this example of the little sparrow that was carrying water
Yes, for
to
Prophet
for
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim alayhi salam.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, it has been like that for all of us. I think there's
That's
so many
wonderful.
volunteers involved now.
Mashallah.
For
But there's
all of
always
us,
this
yeah,
trust. Yeah, mashallah. But there's always this tawakkul and trust in Allah that if it's to happen, it will happen. And at every
yeah,
point in time, God has sent you some kind of signals to say, yes, keep going, right?
yes. It also, I've recently learned through all of this experience that sometimes, we set timelines based on our akal, based on our
Yeah.
exposure, based on our understanding, but sometimes Allah wants us to take us somewhere else.
Yes,
And
absolutely. Beautiful.
sometimes we limit our success. So sometimes we just have to let it go, let the control go, and just leave it on Allah, and see where He takes us, what we are supposed to do next. Because
Yeah,
honestly, I never thought, when I was making that video, that I'll be working very closely with many departments of the Holy Shrine at some point. It was unimaginable.
mm.
I was coming
Obviously,
here
mm,
alone as a
yeah,
stranger. Yeah, but
yeah.
Allah made ways. And He
Ways,
connected me
mashallah.
with so many other volunteers who were so passionately doing some similar things, so passionate to make
Yeah,
changes.
mashallah. So the
And it is,
ambassadors,
yeah,
yeah. So the ambassadors were the people whom you brought on board.
yes. So the ambassadors are our community members from 5 continents. They are they firstly have very good understanding of what environment is, what sustainability goals are. They also
Yeah.
know they're very well connected within the community. They volunteer at different Husainiyas, Islamic centers. They are the
Mm,
teachers, or generally
okay.
community leaders.
Subhanallah.
So
Subhanallah.
they
So
take up
that from one,
actions. They go out,
yeah,
yeah. So they
wonderful.
do
So
go
from one
out and
person
talk
now
to their
you've
local communities. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
wonderful. No, that's great. So from one person, and now you've expanded to a whole team as such, right?
Yes, there were so many. Yeah, it is all because of them that we have been doing whatever we
Mm.
have achieved is because of the volunteers mainly.
Okay,
And
Sis,
all,
can I
it's
ask?
all volunteers led. We have never raised funds. We have never collected
Mashallah.
money for any of our operations, anything that we do.
Okay,
The whole idea was that it should be Imam Hussein's name is enough. It is
mashallah.
enough to inspire people to take action. Although there are so many campaigns around the idea of green living, sustainable living, but I strongly believe that Imam Hussein alayhi salam's name is enough to mobilize people, and
Subhanallah.
that is the only change, behavioral change, that's going to sustain itself.
Mm.
Otherwise,
Absolutely.
people do it for other reasons. But when you're doing it for Imam Hussein, when you're doing it as a part of ethics of your Arba'in pilgrimage or your pilgrimage in general, then that is something beautiful that stays and
Mashallah.
that multiplies. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So, you
My
know what?
pleasure.
They say there is no joy in life unless three things are available: clean,
Yes.
fresh air,
Yes.
abundant, pure water, and fertile land. That's Imam Jafar
Yes.
Sadiq alayhi salam has said.
Absolutely. Yes.
So, can I just rewind back? Were you always passionate about the environment since you were a young kid? When did this passion come about?
Yes, I guess I've always been like this. My parents used to take me to parks every day. I used to climb trees. I was always I was always close to nature. Yeah.
Yes. And so as you grew up, you had your education in the same field as such.
Yes, I did. Yes,
Mm,
but my master's is from the University of Sussex, from the UK.
mashallah. Okay,
It's in
that's
media
great.
ethics and social change. So
Hmm.
it's sort of a journalism degree. Uh,
Nice.
but along with that, I'm a trained sustainability educator and fellow from US. I've also done my permaculture design course from, it's a 1 year old long course from
Mashallah.
Australia. So I've been doing a lot of things from different parts of the world.
Wonderful. And how do people view environmentalism in Pakistan itself?
In Pakistan, we are quite active now. When I
Mashallah.
started, I was in my university in 2008. So I'm the founder of Crops and Pots, Organic City. All of these initiatives were um, very first of its kind work that was done in Pakistan. One is about eco literacy. Um, in Karachi, where I live, is one of the world's largest cities. We have less than 2% green cover. So I felt it was important that we start talking about uh, eco-friendly lifestyle, greening the city, food security. There were so many related issues. So I designed a curriculum for schools. We also have about 700 government schools with huge barren land. So the
Subhanallah.
course actually turns those barren lands into productive food forests. The kids learn how to
Mashallah.
save their own seed. They also learn about contemporary sustainability related issues,
That's wonderful. That's
and it keeps evolving. Yeah,
beautiful. Beautiful.
we have
That's
also
beautiful because
implemented this, by
the
the way,
Prophet
in Iraq
sallallahu alaihi
and
wasallam.
Syria.
Wonderful. Yeah, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if resurrection is happening and if you got one sapling in your hand, which you can plant
Yes,
before he stands up, you know, before you stand up, so you should plant that sapling, right? Because there's so much thawab in that planting of trees.
absolutely.
So I think you've got also a project to plant trees between Najaf and Karbala. Is that right? One
It's not
million
my
trees.
project, but I've been involved in it at the beginning. I'm not part of it now, but
Okay.
because of that, I learned a lot about the environment and generally the challenges of working in Iran. It was a project by somebody else. I'm
Okay.
not sure about its progress at this point, but yeah, because of that, I traveled here during COVID, and we did site surveys and have that sort of experience.
Mashallah. You think that project will take on?
It is being,
It is already
it
okay.
is progressing. I'm not sure about
Wonderful.
how much they have planted on the highway, but there are trees right outside the holy shrine of Abbas that they planted, and they are still growing. Yeah,
Mashallah. Yeah, I heard something about 1 million trees. So we've got
yeah,
lots of people saying, Mashallah, please give us salams. You're so lucky to be there. It's like
absolutely.
a dream come true. Do give us some tips on how we can be avoid plastics. No, sister doesn't stay in Iraq, but she's from Pakistan, but she's at the moment in Iraq. So also tell us, as a green pilgrim, what are some of the things that you want to undertake for the pilgrims, like of eco-friendly mokib for perhaps for Arbain, or what are the certain things that you're picking up on?
Um, okay, so before we go into that, I think it's very important for viewers to understand what is the problem. So
Okay.
Iraq, basically, all the water, fresh water, comes from the two rivers in Iraq, mainly from the river Euphrates or river Furat.
Yeah. Yeah.
This river has been it contaminated severely because of the ongoing war, because they used to dump the dead bodies in this river. They used to dump all the other, chemicals into this river. And then following, right after these invasions and um, these wars, the pilgrims started coming in from all over the world. And we consume lots and lots of plastic cups. Imagine if 22 million people are coming for this one event each year.
Sure.
They're
Yeah.
at least using 10 cups, 8 cups in a day, one person. It multiplies into billions of single use plastic cups, along with single use teaspoons that we use thrice in a day. We just, stir our tea with it and throw it right away in the bin. And then there are cutlery, styrofoam, all kinds of plastic waste, which turns into a huge, huge problem for a war torn country. They don't
Yes.
have enough resources to manage that kind of solid waste or to recycle. Things are much better now, but
Mm.
much better as in they are mobilizing, they're making some effort. There are other NGOs coming in who's trying to make help them out with this. But still, the challenge is huge. So all
Yeah.
of this waste, only 40% of this waste is collected by the city government. The 60% waste goes into the ocean, into the rivers, the same water resources. It goes into landfills. It is either burnt or is just left there. If you go to places outside the holy cities, the holy shrines, these neighborhoods, just walk outside these neighborhoods for take a 15 minutes walk, and you will see that all this plastic waste is right there. It's affecting the local communities, it's affecting the wild spaces, their agricultural fields. It's extremely tragic to see that, and it is an impact that we are responsible for as pilgrims. Of
Absolutely.
course, the local communities also, they are forced to use packaged water because the water supply is contaminated. If you open the tap there, you'll get yellow colored water, brown
Yes.
colored water.
So what
So
can they
from
do?
here to Basra, so they're stuck in this sort of a loop, an
Yes.
endless loop. So at least I felt initially our efforts were to make policy change here in Iraq so that nobody has to suffer because of plastic waste. But things are very complex, and because the government keeps changing, because the interest keeps changing, then there was COVID. We focused our energy towards the pilgrims, and as outsiders, this is what we
Yes.
can do also.
Good.
So we were just trying to get to reach out to the communities who are coming here from Iraq, from Afghanistan, from Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, from the West. Even the people in the West who are eco-friendly or they know what being eco-friendly is, they whenever they come here, they don't practice. They don't carry their own bottles. They
Yeah.
prefer using the single-use plastic cups, and nobody was really bothered what was happening with the cups once they leave. So luckily, in 2020, I was here for the Arbaeen. It was the time when people were not coming here, and I saw with my own eyes that even when the pilgrimage was not as grand as it usually is, even then there were over 25,000 tons of plastic waste that was picked up after Arbaeen.
My
And we
God.
traced this waste. We traced this waste with Al Jazeera team. We had drones. We followed the stream coming out, starting from the Maqam Imam Zamana in Karbala, and we went all the way outside Karbala.
Ya
And you will
Allah.
not believe what we saw. We saw that the river Euphrates had turned solid because there was so much plastic waste there, and people were burning it. These palm trees were also, they were all
Ya
gone.
Allah.
They were all contaminated. They
Mm,
were dying.
mm,
The people who were living there, some of the servants of the Holy Shrine were also living there. They were coming back
God.
wearing those uniforms. And they stopped and said, what is the use of filming this? What's the use of talking about this? Nothing is going to change. So for a very
Wow.
long time, people have been telling us nothing is going to change. You can't work in Iraq. And even today, people keep telling us that, what's the use of advocacy? You need to come up with some practical solutions, donate there, donate here. And
Mm,
I feel that what we do is very important because,
yes.
advocacy is something very important. Our
Of
research, what we are
course.
doing, the academic research that
Yes.
we are doing, the way
Yes.
we are partnering, we're creating partnership. This is going to support many other organizations. In case you have
Absolutely.
funding, you're in the business of recycling, you can come in, use our research, and
Yes.
based
Yes.
on that, reach out to communities. If you want to connect with holy shrines, we can connect you there too. So we've been trying to make that sort of change.
Mm,
But coming back to your question, what can we do now? As simple as individuals, what we can do, we can really make an important impact. We
yeah.
might not be able to solve the whole problem, but at least we will
Mm,
not be contributing to it. And the step is very simple to take. You just need to carry a reusable bottle with you, or a
yes.
simple glass and a spoon that you can use again and again, and maybe a food box if you really want to have food on your way.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
If you're coming on a regular day. Yeah.
yeah, just to stop, but in the urban walk on the way, are there places where someone can get water? Because I know you did say that you were planning to put in water filters there as well, right?
Yes, so we are not, because we don't do fundraising. We don't have that sort of expertise or that sort of team to
Yeah.
build refill stations there. But there are other groups who are trying to do that.
Okay, lovely.
But there are already refill stations there. Uh,
Okay.
Maybe not enough. Maybe we need more refill stations, but they are there. I have done urban walk without using any reusable, any single-use
That's good.
plastic product, it
Fantastic.
is
Yeah.
possible. But I do
Good.
understand we're traveling with, your parents or children. It may become difficult. So my idea of urbane is also very different in terms of ethics and how we should be doing it.
Yeah.
But generally, how urbane is, how people practice, participate in it. There is a lot of food consumption. There's a lot of water
Yes.
consumption. It takes a lot of time to complete that work as well. So yes, we need more refill stations. Definitely, we need better waste management systems. We need plastic alternatives also. Even today, if you want to buy a reusable bottle from Iraq, you will not find it anywhere. You will find thermos, but thermoses are not allowed inside because they are metal. So you need to
Yeah.
find plastic. So there's a lot
Yeah.
of technical things. So we're trying to
Yeah.
bring in businesses, support them in reaching out,
Yeah.
tell them where to go, what to do.
Yeah.
But at
Absolutely.
individuals, what we can do is amazing. If we
Yeah.
carry one glass and we
Yes.
use that, something like this stays with me. So if I'm drinking 8 times a day, I will be throwing 8 single-use plastic cups in the bin right here. But I can easily avoid that, and it
Yes.
adds up to thousands of plastic cups
Yeah.
collected. You can do
Yeah.
that.
And
You can also
they
start
say
taking the sachets.
Karbala. Yeah. They say I was looking somewhere that Karbala uses 480 million plastic glasses in a year, and it takes 450 years to decompose a plastic. And for
Yes,
paper cups, it takes 20 years. So can you have 450 years that plastic is lying around?
yeah.
It's
And
just
it's not
shocking.
just lying around. It's just, it eventually breaks down into microplastics. Then these microplastics, if they're floating in the rivers, fishes eat them. They
Ah,
consume it, they
yes.
die. The marine life suffers because of that. The birds suffer because of that.
Mm.
And even if that is left for even longer than that, it turns into macroplastic. Now, macroplastic is in our bodies already. Even in this one, uh, in this one tea bag. If you're having a tea made out tea bag, you already are consuming,
Yeah.
I think, over
God.
25 microplastics with it. So,
Oh my
microplastic is already in
days.
our bodies. Is it in our food? Is in sugar, in salt, whatever we eat, whatever we consume. It's already there. But it's
Yeah.
very important that, if we really believe that this land is the property of Imam Hussain alayhi salam,
Yeah.
then, we are responsible for this. We are the guests. We have to be really uh,
No, absolutely. No,
cautious
what you're
about our
doing is,
steps. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely what you're
Hmm.
doing. And you're right that as pilgrims, we can start the ball running. At least for ourselves, we could carry those bottles and carry those glasses, and things like that, right? So, have you had any success stories, or anything where things have really moved on, and you said, Alhamdulillah, some kind of movement is happening?
Yes, so first I'll tell you about Iraq, and then we can talk about some other volunteers who are working in different regions.
Yeah,
So in Iraq, people have been telling me that it's impossible to convince the authorities, be it the religious authorities or the government authorities. It's impossible to work with them. Nothing is going to happen. Even the some very prominent ulama living in the UK whose families are based here, they're influential families. Even they discouraged me that nothing is going to happen. But
yeah,
I'm really, really happy to share that earlier this year, the Holy Shrine of Imam Hussain alayhi salam hosted the first environmental conference for Arbaeen. And
wow.
this was the result of one of a research paper that I wrote on sustainable Arbaeen last year.
Subhanallah,
So
subhanallah.
that paper was selected for their Arbaeen conference in around the time of Arbaeen last year. Uh, and after that, I made a suggestion that they should host such an event, this kind of an environmental conference, bring everybody on board and talk about this based on facts and look at solutions what we can do. So at least they started talking about it. We have also seen in the last year there are many more refill stations in Masjid
Yeah,
Kufa. And these are specific points that we mentioned to them that please work on these issues. Please talk about these issues. Last year also, I met the Aminul Am of Amirul Mumineen alayhi salam's holy shrine, and he was very, very open to this idea. He connected me with
wow.
the entire publications department. They work in 14
Subhanallah.
languages, so I met all of the heads of these languages, and they
Wow.
they It was amazing again. Now imagine that video that I told you about. I met these people, and they kept plastic these plastic cups in front of me, as a gesture to give me clean water. And I took out my bottle and kept there. So one of the managers stood up, went to his desk, brought a cup back, a reusable cup, and he said that, remember, you made that video, I saw that video, and since that time I've been using this cup. I did not know this person, he did not know me, and we are talking about 2018, and we were talking about this last year. So it was so amazing to see that somebody in the holy shrine was practicing that. So we came
Mashallah, the
across many
ripple effect.
many Yeah, it was so amazing. So
Yeah,
they at
wow.
least they started talking about this. They're now focusing on the environment, Islamic environmentalism. They're writing about this um, in different languages. So all of this is a big progress for us.
Great.
Also, there are other NGOs, other organizations who are actively working. They've already started working in creating more refill stations, like Mukhtar Bhai's organization. They're already providing lots of thousands of liters of fresh water every day to
Yeah,
pilgrims,
that's
which is
wonderful.
also very important part towards
Mm,
supporting sustainable urban. Because if there are
yes.
more refill stations, we can ask more people to bring their cups and bottles so they can refill it easily. So
Mm,
things are moving, alhamdulillah, in Iraq. Also, there's some
mm.
other people trying to do recycling, do other things with the waste. But things are progressing now, alhamdulillah.
That's
On the other
wonderful.
hand, in Australia, now plastic has been completely banned. But even when it was not banned, our volunteers there, our ambassadors, especially I would like to mention Sister Zahra. She has been so active with the community, mobilizing the very diverse community there. The people are from Afghanistan, from Iraq, from
Mm,
Iran, from Pakistan. There's so many different people, different cultures. So she's been talking to the management of the Husseiniya Islamic centers there, and they've been doing completely plastic free Ramadan activities every day. They All of their activities were plastic free. They could not travel from there to Iraq, and she has never been to Iraq. But it's just her passion that it is because of Imam
oh,
Hussein, we have to turn all our activities eco friendly. Our majalis will not be throwing out any plastic, whatever we do. So instead of distributing the mineral water bottles with tabarruk or niyaz, they have started distributing reusable bottles filled with water with the saying of Imam Hussein alayhi salam attached to it. So they've made these changes, which is huge,
wonderful.
and they don't use plastic at all. Similarly, uh, many families in Hussainias, uh, Imam Vargas in Pakistan have also gone eco-friendly. There are some in the UK, some in India. Everybody is trying to make some sort of an effort.
That's
Then I would
absolutely.
also really like to mention what's happening in Iran. So our ambassador in Iran, Sister Shima, she has been working very actively up on the same issue in Iran, um, especially in Ahvaz, because Ahvaz is the border town between Iran and Iraq, and all the pilgrims from Iran they gather in Ahvaz and then they cross the border. So
Right.
Ahvaz also goes through similar challenges. There are
Mm,
tons of plastic waste left behind. So she has been very actively doing similar advocacy, um, and she's been able to convince the local authorities there, mobilize communities, and recently she was on a TV show there. So everybody is trying to do whatever they can, and
absolutely.
the conversation is ongoing. Yeah, inshallah,
Yeah, inshallah, the
things will get
activism and
better.
advocacy really work. I know we all can do a little bit. We've got Brother Makbul saying that thanks for the great job you're doing. And he said we are morally responsible because we forget the morality. We think, it's not something we are responsible for, but we
Yes,
are really, aren't we? And it's
absolutely.
a great thing that if we can do small steps, each one of us can take and then can build a better society for us. Um, if I may ask, do you think we could ever have a plastic-free Arbain?
Why not? I mean,
Yes,
Imam Zamana Jalal Ta'ala Faraja is going to come,
absolutely.
and we will
Yeah,
see that happen, if not in our lifetime.
insha,
We'll keep
inshallah,
working
whatever.
towards it.
Yes. Is there
It is
anything else?
possible. See, globally, there are many countries who've been um, using plastic alternatives for a very long time.
Yeah.
It's all about the awareness per se, the willingness of the authorities
Yeah.
and people. Sometimes when there is no willingness from the authorities, people need to mobilize and we need to start something from the grassroots level. And this is
Yeah.
what we are trying to do. And I
Absolutely.
strongly believe that, once people know the other side of the picture, we only see the good side of Arbaeen. We only
Mm,
see those images in which people are united, moving towards a very clean roads. But actually, it's truly what's left behind after they go. And unless we
absolutely.
accept that, unless we accept responsibility for that, we can't be so sure if our pilgrimage was accepted, if it was makbul, if it was
Mashallah.
accepted.
And,
Yeah,
and
we
I'm
should
so
not be
inspired.
caused any such. Yeah.
Mashallah, and I'm so inspired that you actually went up to the authorities and now you're looking at asking them to help out in making a more eco-friendly cities of Najaf, right? You would like
Yeah.
to see, I suppose, Karbala being an eco-friendly city that is surrounded by greenery and it's a model eco-friendly city, right? Inshallah, at
Absolutely.
some point, inshallah, it will. So,
Inshallah.
if I may ask, is there any way that recycling, or is there no recycling at all taking place in these cities?
Not in these cities in Iraq. Mostly the recycling is done in the north. And
Okay.
there is, of course, this whole plastic trash cycle is very complex in any part of the world, especially in
Yeah.
this global south. It's very
Mm,
complex. There are many people involved in this. There are layers and layers of it. So, what usually happens in Iraq is either the trash is burnt on the landfills, or it's just left there, or some people try to collect valuable plastic from there, collect it, sell it to another vendor who collects
right.
thousands of tons of plastic. Then this plastic is taken to the north. So yeah, it is a very complex system. Sometimes you
Yeah.
can intervene in this, sometimes you can't. It's like any part of the South Asia where there's sort of mafias involved, there's sort of powerful people involved, or you can't really make much difference. So where I
So you.
think what we can do is we can have better conversations, better dialogue with the authorities
Mm,
in our spiritual centers, because really this is where the social change comes from. This is where we can inspire some sort of behavioral change. So
mm,
I'm really trying to um, talk of talk about this idea of environmental sustainability in terms of Islamic ethics, so that people can start relating it to religion as a core responsibility. Being Muslims, israf is forbidden. We have to think before we buy anything we consume. Do we really
mm,
want it, or do we need
yeah.
it? Why are we using it? Is there any
Absolutely.
other alternative?
Yeah.
So trying to initiate that kind of conversation here. But I
Yeah.
hope I have my hopes are mainly uh, with individuals. If we
Yes.
make change, that is
Absolutely.
something that's going to
Yeah.
sustain.
Mm. So, have you had any resistance from people who sell bottles and the economy running, the people who do the business with all these plastics? Any resistance from them in that sense?
Uh, Not locally, not
Yeah.
here in Iraq, but yes, I think there are people who say if you want to sell plastic, collect plastic, you want people to use plastic, right? So
Yes.
even if
Yeah.
somebody pitches a project like we are going to recycle plastic, or we are going to sell this plastic somewhere and do something good from it, from the money, they still are asking us to consume plastic. So they were trying to stop me from advocacy, for this
Yes.
advocacy, that please don't use plastic cups. So people have been reaching out, but alhamdulillah, because of my past experiences, I had an idea what they're really up to. So
Yeah.
we keep
Mashallah.
advocating about, yes, we need recycling. Uh, uh, we need recycling, but at the same time we also need to stop consumption of plastic, or reduce the consumption of plastic. This is called responsible consumption and production. So we'll be working towards that, and we'll keep doing that. We'll keep asking people to reduce their plastic waste. And
In, inshallah.
i
So,
i, I just also
is there
want to
any
show you
other?
quickly what it looks like.
Sure. Please do. Please do. Yes. Wonderful.
See,
Oh
so
my
these
God.
are so many plastic cups.
Yes.
These are like single use plastic
Oh
cups. I hope you
right.
can see.
Yeah.
So these cups,
And
see, they are not valuable plastic cups. I mean, plastic is of many kind. When it's sold, only the PET bottles get better prices, but this kind of plastic is usually not very usable for people.
Ah,
But
right.
this keeps changing every few hours. These kind of bins, they're all around the holy shrine, and they
Yeah.
keep filling up. And the reason why we see this plastic here in the holy shrine is because the health ministry has made it compulsory for the holy shrine to place these cups here because of
Mm.
COVID, because they want to reduce the spread of any sort of
Infection.
viruses.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
the management here has shown me that letter that we are bound to keep these cups. But if you go outside the shrine, the same holy shrine has placed reusable cups at every refill station. You
Oh,
will
have
not
they?
find a single plastic cup outside the holy shrine.
So what,
But
you just
here,
wash them and drink from there?
yeah,
Yeah. Do you wash them and drink from there? Did you say?
yes, you can, or you can
Yes.
refill your bottles. You can refill your
Yeah.
bottles, or I carry my own cup. So this is so convenient. I always carry this.
Yes.
It's very simple. See, it's so simple.
Yeah,
I'm actually
absolutely.
thirsty, so I'm
Yeah.
just going to.
I know, I've seen lots of children and things just have a sip and then throw the glass away. Just have a sip and throw
Yeah,
the glass away, right?
yes,
Yeah.
that's what happens.
Mm.
So it's
Yeah.
very convenient. And but it's also a cultural thing. When Afghani families come here, it's in their habit to carry their cups. It's part
Oh,
of
how
their
nice.
culture. Wherever they
Nice.
go, they carry their own plates, their own spoons, their own cups. So wherever they are, even if they are living in the West, you will find them carrying these their own bottles, bringing their
Yeah,
own tea.
we
So,
are spoiled, right? Yeah.
yeah,
We can, yes. If you'd like to show us a bit around, and then maybe we can pray for all the people who are suffering and in this world
absolutely.
today, and inshallah, we can
Inshallah.
use
Okay, I'm going to turn.
your
Absolutely.
being here.
I'll go towards that side where you can see the Zari
Yeah,
also.
okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sanam. And maybe you can just do a dua for us, if that would be wonderful. And for, of course, for having a sustainable life for all of us, inshallah.
I think you should take the dua and I'll walk around.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
we're just we're just inspired by what you're doing, actually, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us this light. We understand what we're actually doing morally incorrect with the plastics. Try to uh, be a bit more cognizant of how we are using these things and how we are throwing it. So Allah, give us this strength to be able to become more eco-friendly and follow in Sister Zahra's footsteps, inshallah. And also give us this, my heart is really bleeding to see the river Furat being contaminated with plastic, and all the people who live there who are suffering from it. So Allah, please wake us up and wake us up to be able to become more eco-friendly and to care for this world and have responsibility towards it, inshallah. And also, Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam, there is so many people suffering. Please take our dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help them, because our hearts are bleeding and we haven't got anything but du'as. So please, please, through your wasila, help all the people. And is Imam Hussein al-Islam, are you across Imam Hussein al-Islam's shrine as well, sister?
Yes, I'm just going to walk outside to the. I'll go towards Benul Haramain, and you can see both shrines there.
Oh, mashallah. Thank you so much. I know it's been
And I
raining, and in spite of that, you have taken that effort to do this for us. Thank you so
know
much.
it's
God
such a
bless
pleasure to
you.
be
Thank
here, and I just want to, Sister, humbly um, add to your dua that it's not my footsteps. I'm trying to
you.
follow the footsteps of Imam Hussein alayhi salam,
Yeah,
because
absolutely. Yeah.
this is the place of inspiration for us, the place of
Mashallah.
resistance, the place of doing the
Yes.
right thing even when nobody's watching,
Yeah.
and this is the place which is the center of all tawakkul for us, right? So we have
Absolutely.
seen how a small group of people in Karbala are changing us every day, teaching
Yeah.
us, grooming us, um, and
True,
it's
but
ongoing. There's such a
definitely,
beautiful
Sister
side.
Zahra, you've shown you're like a role model for us, right? So we do need role models to see
No,
how we
no,
can
no, no, I'm not.
lead a better life, inshallah. And we pray that you have
Yeah.
every success in whatever you are doing. Is there
Thank you.
anything particularly you would like to share, or any few words of wisdom you'd like to say to our viewers about what we should be doing in our, besides
Yes.
pilgrimage?
Besides pilgrimage, I don't know. If I'm the right person to advise anyone,
No, no, no. In
but
the sense,
in
in our
terms
own
of
homes, in our own homes, to be more eco-friendly
more
and stuff.
eco-friendly, yes. So yes, definitely. So firstly, it's really important for us to ask ourselves what we are consuming, where is it coming from, why are we consuming it, and this leads to a lot of research and eye-opening information that comes to us. uh, just for example, right now we are being very conscious about what we are consuming. Is it coming from Israel? Is it Israeli product or not?
Yes, yes,
In the same
yes.
way, we really need to look at what's the environmental impact of things that we are consuming, and
Mm,
how can we go back to the simplicity that Masumeen have taught us. And it comes back to everything that Islam is all about: consuming what you need, taking what you need only, and making sure that you're leaving behind this planet as you found it, or better than
yes.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Mu'min is somebody who leaves, if he enters a place, he leaves that place better than he found it. So
Subhanallah.
if we are the guardians of this planet,
Yeah,
if we are made responsible for this planet, if all of this is for us, then we will be asked, what did we do with the resources that were given to us? What did we do with the blessings that were given to us? So
yes.
all the suffering, imagine the sufferings of people that are going to come after us. In Iraq, it is said that in 40 years, there will be water poverty here. There will be no water for people. And if our consumption is adding to that problem, then we should think about it. Really, we'll be responsible. We will not have a response to that. And with
Absolutely.
all the global community here, we must pledge to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, whose haram is right in front of us, that may Allah give us tawfiq to
Yeah,
be
wonderful. That's great. Thank you
responsible pilgrims
so much.
of this holy city, and to serve
Oh,
the holy
wonderful.
cities. Yeah.
That's great. Oh, that's beautiful, mashallah. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Sister Zahra. Assalamu alaikum. Ya Rasul. Thank you, Imam Hussein. Thank you so much. I know it's a late night for you at the moment, and thank you so much for sharing that with us, and thank you so much for sharing all the tips. And I
My
think we're
pleasure.
going to become more and more um, aware of what we are doing, especially when we go to the supermarket now. Make sure that stick in there as inshallah, we pray for hashtag inshallah in the future.
It's really cold
Jazakallah
here
khair.
now.
Um,
It's
and
noisy also, I
hopefully,
can't hear you.
inshallah, yeah, wonderful. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Wonderful. It's so nice. Subhanallah. And the rain has stopped as well.
It has to stop, yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. Right. If any of our viewers wants to say us salam, thank you so much, and inshallah, hopefully, we'll keep in touch and see how we can be ambassadors and advocates for the project that you're doing, inshallah. So
Please
jazakallah.
do join. Please do join in. If you want to be a volunteer, please drop us an email. We'll be
Yeah,
in touch with
anyone,
you.
absolutely. Anyone who wants to join up with Sister Zahra or wants to be one of the advocates for the environment, Sister Zahra would be really happy to have us on board, inshallah. So Jazakallah khair, and thank you very much. Enjoy
Thank
the
you
rest
so
of
much.
the ziyarat, and all the
Thank
best
you.
for the future, inshallah.
Thank
Assalam.
you so much. Take care.
So, thank you very much to our viewers for joining us today, and it was such a real inspiring journey that Sister Zahra went through, and what she's doing is also very, very awesome. Inshallah, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so today now. We've got some great videos and blogs on the website which you can take advantage of, and it is a charity now, so if you would like to donate or share any of your expertise with us, please do so. Thank you very much, and once again, Kushali Mubarak. Ma'asalama.